welcome to Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. You'll experience bloopers, outtakes, surprises, and all the laughter in between. Intermissions is unscripted, unfiltered, and undeniably Florenza. So put your hands together to welcome today's guest to the show. Thank you so much, Allison, for joining me on this episode of On the Air with Florenza, where we are going to chat about your newest book, Home of the American Circus. And I'm going to have to flip my screen because it's backwards to me, but
it's forwards to me.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So before we get started, and again, thank you for joining me. We are going to toast to an amazing show. And you came with, wait, turn that around. What does it say on the front?
It says The Longest Year. It's Chris Perica. They're my favorite musician.
Okay. All right.
It says, keep on and keep your head up on the other side.
Now, has this been a long year for you, though, already? We're only in June, Allison.
It has been a little bit long.
Oh, okay.
It's good, though.
Well, listen, you've been so successful already this year, so maybe that longevity gives you extra time to celebrate.
I love that. That's a great philosophy. Thank you.
Well, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
You know, that's not good. I got that.
Oops.
I know. I had a birthday a few days ago. I turned 61. And family and friends came over, and apparently they all hear me talk about drinking, even though, yeah, my trash can does jingle. But so they brought me wine, different people, well, wine and other stuff. And I grabbed this when I ran downstairs. I was like, oh, yeah, it's liquid. Yeah, it reminded me to tell that friend not to come back.
Well, happy birthday. And thank you for having me on your show. And hopefully there's better wine waiting for you.
There's a bunch of it down here. I'm going to go through it and find out. So, as I was telling you before we came on air, I started doing a new segment that I call Intermissions. And it's where we're just going to have some fun for a few minutes and it gets pulled to become a reel. And for you, I created some true or false questions. Now, I don't know the answers. And as I told you, I've been really sucking lately at guessing. So if I suck, I'm going to blame it on this horrible wine. But are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. True or false? You once told fans you secretly hoped to become a mermaid someday. I mean, who wouldn't? True or false? I'm going to say, oh, you're a Pisces. You absolutely want to be a mermaid.
Of course, that's true. Of course.
Now, what is it about mermaids that kind of get you going?
When I was a little kid, I just absolutely loved mermaids, and my third book was about mermaid performers. It was a reunion of 70-year-old mermaid performers. So I got to kind of live out that dream in my head. But yeah, when I was a little kid, there was an anime version of The Little Mermaid at our local video store, and I used to watch it all the time. It was so sad. It had like the original fairy tale ending and everything. And I was just obsessed with it, and I would just watch it over and over again and cry and like think about it in my everyday life and cry. But I loved the idea of being underwater all the time. I'm not a very good swimmer. I can swim underwater better than I can swim above water because I wanted to be a mermaid so badly that when I was a kid, I'd like practice swimming underwater. So I'm a great swimmer as long as I don't have to be on the surface. Yeah.
Such a true Pisces. You're the symbol of the fish and you want to be a mermaid. I like that. I like that. Okay. Be honest, true or false? Oh, You wear an oversized 1980s acrylic sweater while writing to have openly admitted it's a crime against fashion and good taste. Oh, could I see you in an oversized rock sweater? I can. Um, 80s, you were barely born, so you would have had to inherit it. Dang on it, I'm saying true.
Yep, it's true. I was born in 77, but it was a thrift store sweater. I don't wear it anymore because I moved to California. But when I was living in Rochester and our house was drafty, that was my writing sweater, and it was hideous, but I loved it because it made me feel like what I looked like wasn't important. Like I'd put it on and it would be like who you are and what you look
Yeah.
like. You're not presenting anything to the outside world right now. You're just working.
Oh, I
And
love
I
that.
loved that. Yeah.
Now, when your family saw the sweater come out, did they know, was that like the outward symbol, like come through this door and you're gonna hear red drum.
Yeah, it was definitely like my writing sweater, and my husband would say, it smells, and I'm like, it doesn't smell. I just washed it, and he'd be like, it looks like it smells. Like it wasn't a wear outside sweater. I
And
still have it.
he thought you shouldn't wear it indoors either.
Exactly.
Okay, true or false? You once worked at a biker bar and slung drinks like a pro before becoming a best-selling author. I'm going to say false, but that sounds so cool.
I did. I did.
Really?
I went to college for 2 years and then I dropped out of college and I went to bartending school in New Jersey and I worked at a little Italian restaurant and then I got a job at a biker bar that was at the Danbury Airport in Connecticut. Yeah, and I worked a lot there. And I learned a lot there, like about people and myself and sent me back to college. Like that was
You're like, this is it. It's like a child, a little fast girl babysitting a bunch of kids. And it's like, okay, mama, I promise I'll be good.
yeah, I just kind of needed to be like, wow, this is really hard, and I think I need to go back to school. But I also really appreciated that time, and I think it was the best writing education I could have possibly
Mhm.
gotten. Like, you wouldn't engineer that for yourself, but I learned so much working as a bartender. And then when I got back to school, I had stuff to write about because I
Yeah,
like lived some life,
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. True or false? Okay, this one is for the dog lovers. You had a German Shepherd named Stella who doubled as your co-pilot on cross-country book tours. I got the last one wrong, but I'm going to go false again.
That is like a mix because she drove cross country. We did have a German Shepherd named Stella. She drove cross country with us when we moved out here, but she was highly anxious and never went on like recreational trips. Like we drove her cross country because we didn't want to put her in an airplane when we moved to California. But no, she would have hated book book events.
Okay, I call that a true false.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, and our last one. Let's see, true or false? And please say true because I need to get this one like really bad. All right. Back in your 20s, you lived in a motor home, played open mic gigs, and even dabbled in stand-up comedy in New York City. Your eyebrow said, where the hell did you get that question? So I'm going to say false. Just from the eyebrows were like, girl, please.
I get it though, because I wrote The People We Keep is about a young woman who lives in a motorless motorhome and plays guitar. And I did play some open mics when I was younger, but I didn't actually live in a motorhome and I've never done stand-up comedy. And I don't think I'd be very good at it. So
So that's another trifos, kind of a
yeah,
little bit. Great. Well, thank you for playing our True or False for our intermission.
And this wraps up our episode of Intermissions, your backstage pass to On the Air with Florenza. Be sure to check out the full interview for this author as well as others on Florenza's podcast, On the Air with Florenza. And until next time, cheers.